Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. That is the card that we will be making, and we are doing something completely new with our product called Pigment Sprinkles. And we'll go on to talk a little bit more about that. But for the products and tools and supplies that you're going to be needing are under my umbrella, that bundle. I had to do a frame change there because my face was going to show up on the top of that punch, and being socially isolated, you weren't going to see that. There's another view, a more closer up of our card. That is a beautiful Under My Umbrella stamp set that I'm totally hooked on. Great bundle. It's in our spring catalog. You got to pick it up. That is March Paper Pumpkin. The top is No Matter the Weather. The bottom, Spring Splash. That was a freebie included in your kit for $19.99 a month, and it coordinates beautifully with Under My Umbrella. So we have the metallic dots there. We're going to be using our watercolor paper. That is 100-pound weight, and you'll see, yeah, this is going to be a video. I've cut that down to 3 inches across by 2.5 down, and pay attention to how I have it lined up in my Stamparatus. That is our card base, thick whisper white, top folding, 4.25 by 5.5. Those are Pigment Sprinkles. And we have Mellow Mambo, left to right, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Bermuda Bay, and Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to set those aside for a moment. Use our Stamparatus. You're going to need to fill up your Stampin' Spritzer. Then we have Memento Tuxedo Black. I do not end up using that handle in the long run. And then grab your embossing buddy along with some clear embossing powder. So to get started, I've zoomed in a little bit. You can see how I've placed the watercolor paper in the Stamparatus. And I'm taking my embossing buddy, and I'm going to be coating the cardstock with that. That is Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm going to lay down the image, flip it 180, line it right back up. Then I'm going to ink it up and stamp it again. And when you lay down images like this, you want to pay attention to the punch orientation. And that's how I knew how I could line up that stamp on my cardstock. So when I did punch it out, I would not have 500 other pieces, going all over the place. So I coated that with clear embossing powder on top of the Memento Tuxedo Black. Heat setting 2, let it heat up real well, and you're going to see it start to melt a little bit. Now there's 2 ways that you can do this. You could do it in Versamark and then cover it with black embossing powder too, but this was easier to me. Black embossing powder can get, kind of fussy. So I brought in my sentiment from Under My Umbrella. I'm going to ink that up with Memento Tuxedo Black, and we're using the ornate frames that carried over from the Halloween catalog, not Halloween, but Christmas catalog or holiday catalog. Yeah, my human skills have obviously gone downhill since I've been inside for 2 weeks. So I blew that sentiment, decided to flip it around, and got better luck this time around using my brayer to give it, a nice crisp impression. So I'm going to hit that up twice, again with some more ink, and then we are going to get on to the fun stuff. So what I've done here is I have grabbed a cardboard piece that comes in our 12 by 12 designer series paper, and I'm using that kind of like a little bit of a mat. And that's why I was talking about lining up your stamps or your impression the right way on your cardstock so you would know how to punch it out. I'm going to be pulling everything back in right now, mainly just one image panel. And our first color is going to be Mellow Mambo. I'm going to just tap that out, get the spritzer, spray it on, and boom, there it goes. Part of the beauty about heat embossing this is that inside of each little a part of the umbrella, you can manipulate the color around to however you want it. I will tell you though, you can see that there's red on there. That is mango. You might want to wash your hands in between every application. Pigment, they're permanent. They're messy, but the color that you get is so vivid and beautiful. I love it. So we're just going to keep taking this out to, that's Daffodil Delight. Mango is like more Mango Melody. That's more orange color. Daffodil is the yellow. I do both because I never know how they're going to turn out, and I want my orange or yellow to kind of get like an orange and yellow. That is Granny Apple Green. Way too overloaded that. And when you do that, you can use paper towel to pull out the excess. You can just keep hitting it with your spritzer, which you'll see me do with this color here, which is the Bermuda Bay, because I really overkilled that. And that's a good way to get, rid of part of your ink too, or rearrange it. This is the first time I've used this, and there's just so many things. Actually, just a second. There's just so many things that you can do with this. So you can see where my hands are getting kind of cruddied up a little bit. I've got the Bermuda Bay on top of the gorgeous scrape that we're laying down. And I did a lot of frame changes so I can constantly change out that paper. And yeah, your fingers are going to get bad. My manicure is trashed anyway right now, so it doesn't really matter at this point in time. Brought in the Big Shot, because you can tell I'm going kind of punchy from being quarantined. And I'm going to marathon film it because today is like March 29th. And I was just reading about how President Trump, we're like in this for another month. And yeah, this is not going to be easy. So I did die cut out our sentiment, but so far I'm not sick. This is where I messed up bad. I did not let that dry overnight. You've seen me punch with the umbrella punch before, last week or the week before. You want to let your watercolor cardstock dry overnight, because it got stuck in my punch because I'd manipulated that paper, I'd manipulated so much that I just kind of got myself into a hole there. So I fixed the punch, and I was able to get everything else punched out with not as much grief as you saw there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off 3 full-size white Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to lay them all on the back of our umbrellas like that, because the cardstock, water, pigment, everything. And it's kind of boring. I'm pulling in some black cardstock now, and I'm punching out 5 little black umbrella handles that we're going to be using for our image panel, or our card front there. And as you can see, again, I fixed the punch, everything worked out fine, but don't make that mistake that I did, because that was a total my bad. So I pull in my umbrellas, lay them out in rainbow order. I use my magnet sometimes from the Stamparatus to keep cardstock down on top of my purple painter's tape. So I'm peeling off the 3 dimensionals I have on the back of our die cut sentiment, and I know I want to get that down first. And now I'm going to be pulling off all the Stampin' Dimensionals from the back of our little umbrellas, and then just getting everything arranged. I start from the bottom, again at the top, then I'll go to the Granny Apple Green umbrella, and then I'll eventually get the Mango and Bermuda Bay down as well. So now that that is done, we are ready to add our little handles. And I'm going to be taking just some Tombow Mono, putting some little dots on the back of that. And the handles are way too long because I did kind of crowd my card front there a little bit, but I wanted that rainbow in. If you use a smaller umbrella in the stamp set, you could probably use the entire handle, and I might try that with another card because, you know, I do have a month coming up alone. So that is how we look. Do I like it now that I look at it and I'm doing this voiceover? No, I don't. I need to make the gorgeous scrape handle the same length as I do the other ones, and I can fix that. So I'm taking our metallic little dots now, and I'm using the silver rule of odds, and I'm placing 5 down on the card front, and this is just the most easiest fun card, messy to make with a lot of color. It's very vivid, it's very bright, it's very happy, and it's a great card to send to your friends. I hope that you enjoyed today's project. Please hit like, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Be well. So far I'm doing okay. God bless, and if you need anything, please let me know. CindyCoots@gmail.com. Take care, and I will see you next week for another video.